Good evening, everybody. System Chalk here with the 44th episode of Cultist Simulator, The Bright Young Thing Legacy, playing as David Ellison and completing the first week of the new year. I hope it has been a good one for you. So we've got a few things that we want to get through. I've got one final book from the Kuznetsov Endowment, the Iron Book, to handle. It's one we've read already, but we might as well get through the easiest sources of lore before we start working on any other upgrades. I'm starting on the locations in the Rending Mountains. So wait a minute. That's here. So this was the Mausoleum of Wolves that we're working on. And I still need to get rid of the last of the staleness, but we did complete all of our paintings. So happy to have finished that. But let's start with the Iron Book. So the Manual of the Order Limea, an order of quasi-immortals who maintained a secret enclave in the at the source of the river Limea in the Roman province of Hispania Gallicaea. So this is similar to one that we had read before. The city door, the work begins, but that was a knock text. I think it was no, actually I forgot the author's name. My minion has returned, the evidence has been destroyed. I am a little safer. So we know that a season of ambitions is coming up, so as much as I want to repair the mirror, we might as well just get a replacement for starters. So a sufficiently persuasive disciple can probably lure a susceptible companion back to us. After that, we repair the mirror, we go back through the Peacock's door. Hopefully we wind up with a little bit more secret history lore, but it's not as big of a deal because we're currently using the explore verb to go through all these other locations. The dead circle the edge of our vision like frayed dreams. The very air around us is chill with winter's shadow. They must recognize that. We'll add Valsine, which in this case doesn't really mean a whole lot, but I just want to get past the door. The air is curdled now. I'm home again in this lump of flesh. Better, perhaps. And we've got a rebellious spirit, so my usual answer for handling that is, actually, you know what? With Callagine, let's use passion. We'll see if something nasty happens. The things from outside the world have many weapons, knives and riddles, fire and despair. I have weapons of my own. This will usually, but not always, work. Don't have to worry about any fascination. The Iron Book, a manual of the Order Limea, the order of quasi-immortals who maintained a secret enclave at the source of the river Limea in the Roman province of Hispania Gallicaea. This manual was compiled by one Milari Yivni, who claims to have traveled to join the Ordo from the crossroads of the waters. Members of the Ordo took an oath, the Iron Chain, that required them to remain hidden from the world. This manual includes presumably long obsolete addresses and passphrases that could have been used to find the Ordo's contact in the town of Iria. Or is it Ira? Out in the night, my follower is whispering words that sometimes they might mean. Even if their victim knows the words are lies, they may not care. Okay. As long as I don't get a fascination, I should be pretty happy. Oh dear. So, it's coming after me, and it's eating my my reason. My summoning has escaped my control, where it will wreak havoc, no doubt. And we'll get the dread from the chilly atmosphere, because, hey, why not inconvenience me even more? Let's get that last of that staleness dealt with. And this time, let's go for the Formula Vigilant. Those who know will understand, as will the Suppression Bureau. I could do one with the Passionate Memory, but I'm getting rid of the Vitality soon, so... And Season of Suspicion, again, we're not that worried about it because we've already destroyed the evidence. My minion returned, half-conscious and bleeding badly. It seems the rival suitor took exception to their efforts. So let's heal them up, and then we'll get a replacement. I could spend money on better paints, or I could find more exotic pigments. Again, we're getting rid of the dread. And okay, the events of that night will live long in your memory, and for days the newspapers question the residents of the district. So, this is pretty inconvenient because we do have 3 dread on the table. Well, soon we'll have 3 dread on the table, so that's something that could potentially end the run. Now, we're okay with reason. It's basically equal to our passion now. It's inconvenient to lose it, obviously, but we'll see if we can make do. Plan is here. The final part of the manual describes the punishments for Ordo members who break their oath of secrecy. This includes an invocation used to summon the spirit called King Crucible as an agent of vengeance. Yevgeny cautions that this must be a last resort when the oathbreaker would otherwise go unpunished. Summoning King Crucible might draw the personal attention of the Forge of Days. So another Palidate invocation. And what do I want to do now? Feels like it would be a waste not to try and upgrade something. Or maybe we just wait for the next batch of goodies. I think we'll probably wind up doing that. Maybe I'll go for a walk. Long walks kill cobwebs. So we may wind up with a fascination out of this. In that case, the dread is a little bit of a blessing. It's something special. It may provoke a reaction. Okay, happy for the money. And no fascination. But I do have a contentment, so let's get rid of the... Actually, let that turn into the freshest dread. I remember I was different before. And we still have the staleness, so I... Well, okay, there's not really a point in trying to do another summoning. We were doing that to try and get rid of something inconvenient. So let's go for another commission. And then when I can, we'll get Saliba to pick up another snack. Mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm sane if that means anything. The wound is healed, but this one came very close to death. Silence has touched them like snow. Okay, so Saliba's actually in danger of dying, so let's send Rhaenyra out. Significant conversations in a smoking meeting room. What do I need from my follower? A sufficiently persuasive disciple can probably lure a susceptible companion back to us. All doors must open as all lives must end. This door has found its end here today. So, at the... we'll wait through to the end, but I'm hoping we wind up with some books before too long. I've neglected my studies, but I stand a little straighter. I don't know if anybody has fitness on their list of things to do in the new year, but I kind of fell out of habit. So I'll try... Never really picked up heavy things and put them down again, but... I should at least make an effort. Okay, let's go... Let's try for the passion again. Do I need notoriety? Wouldn't hurt. Season of Visions isn't a worry. We've got multiple fleeting reminiscence to deal with that. The coming of the wolf, the whispering of the dead is quiet, but another sound echoes in the mausoleum, a faint descending howl like metal tearing the hull of a ship, dropping in pitch until it churns our bones. It could almost be the wind, but it is not. We should not stay long here. The chill in the air deepens until our skin crisps with ice. At the core of the mausoleum is a white marble bowl upon a granite plinth. It is filled with a snow white whose touch burns the skin, and buried in it, items of note. Were they concealed here, or were they offerings? Nothing beside remains. As the sun his course, so that is an Aramaic text. Now, one thing I find interesting here, so there's the Velshorn inscriptions, hundreds of matching lines in Greek and Frisian poetry copied from a wall, similar or identical to the inscriptions Cal Velshorn discovered in Halicarnassus. I was under the impression that there was a... I thought that there was something similar to the bowl for Frisian originally. I could be wrong on that, though. Because I know in the case of Mandiac, that is actually inscribed in bold. Deep Mandiac is invented, but I was under the impression that, so there's the Auguries for Vac, and I have no idea if that is a clever reference to one of the people in the special thanks, or if that word actually means something. There's the bowl for Deep Mandiac, and I was definitely under the impression that in an earlier version of the game, the Velshorn inscriptions, you would actually get the inscriptions. But obviously now this is a book. It's going to be one of the ones we read right away. Wolf Snow, far too cold to ever melt in anything but the hottest noonday sun. It will, very gradually, consume human flesh. Like a Bond villain. A second glory... Actually, sorry. I just had a very silly idea of a Bond villain using Wolf Snow. Second glory, and a bunch of followers who did a good job. Right. I think we just go into the next... Oh, no, we can't. We don't have the money for it. So, let's... Okay, we translate the Velshorn inscriptions first. Let's do... Oriflammes. This curiosity will earn you some funds. Sell with caution. There's no way to get it back. All that I am is here. Minion is returned, attended with a prisoner, rendered docile with delight. I guess we already got rid of the... Sorry, I'm losing track of what's going on. Alright, so I think I said at this point the aim was going to be to repair the mirror, so we'll send Tristan to work on that. Dreamwise, yeah, we're leaving everything... I probably should have turned in with Poppy first, actually. Our recent work has drawn some attention. Something should sell, and we're out of the staleness, which is good, because now I can do a painting of the percussigant. I can do a painting of the percussigant. And hopefully make some money from it. I'll paint them into our world, and perhaps they'll stay a little while longer. Auctioneer's Gamble bangs, my item has sold. So we'll do that one more time. I don't want to completely empty the collection of... Wow, I actually made quite a bit more money than I thought. Maybe I just misread the number? And Season of Sickness coming up, we've got the Course of the Heart as well as the Vitality, so we should be fine. The text for study, and the Auctioneer's Gamble bangs, my item has sold. So we'll give the painting a little while. The Velshorn inscriptions, an epic and notably erotic poem describing a rash musician's coupling with and eventual flaying by the Red Mother in both Greek and Frisian. The intrepid Cal Velshorn found these inscriptions on a temple wall in Halicarnassus, but the same inscription is turned up in a surprising number of other places. Frisian, the language of Midas of Tecmessa, of the priests of Sibyl. This is work I can be proud of. With enough publicity, it will sell. Not a bad day's work. On to Hunter's Pits. The Tearing tribes enlarged this cave system, digging shafts, preparing traps. It may have been a place of execution or a proving ground. In either case, it's sacred, and the tribes don't want us here. If we survive them, there is still one more terror in the cramped tunnels. So my expectation would be we need Forge or... so I'd say Forge or Winter for the Rending Mountains. Moth for the Guardians, and then presumably it would be Knock for the remaining terror. So I'll start with adding Yzabet. Oops. Money. The trap labyrinths of the Tearing tribes. We'll have to scale the mountains and battle our way through the tribes. After that, no doubt, there will be something else. And we can do a... Wait, sorry. Passion painting in 11 seconds. I'm certain that my adversary has lodged a copy of their notes elsewhere, with their solicitor, with their superior, or even with a contact in the press. So again, we won't worry too much about tentative evidence for the moment. And let's do a painting about vitality. I'm not really looking to add more notoriety at this point. I think we're good. We'll lose some in a little bit, but we'll also generate some through our actions. Okay, not too worried about the sickness in this case. We should be able to get by. Wolf dispel prowls elsewhere. Okay, so yes, basically everything we were expecting here. So let's start by adding a couple of winter followers, because I'm less likely to use them. This is passion, so we don't care about the colors of the night. What is this? Mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm saying if that means anything. And we prepared the mirror. Now, I'm still trying to remember what the activity for Lantern was. I know they do fortunes, but I can't remember what the practical effect of that is. I'll first turn in the commission for Poppy and get a new one from Jannings. And I'll try getting Cat Caro to do a mission just for the sake of it. Something about the language stirs the blood. Perhaps it's fortunate that none now remembers its lost sounds. So, the funny thing here is that we didn't really get that many books from the location, but the fact that we got the new language means that we can move up a number of works that we otherwise couldn't read. I may want to move the Book of Thrones to the top of the list just because it's secret histories. So yeah, except for Deep Mandiac, we're good. So, the Book of Thrones, the legend of the Shadowless Empire, translated by Alexander Peterhans from the Annals at a secret shrine in Anatolia. Long language. Lock the study door, the work begins. And I have received the currency of the secret world, and my patron has let tantalizing information slip. What was I trying to do? Right, talk to Count Jannings. Good Count's fraternity in Europe is seeking particular research. The Madrigard is strong in winter. Probably she will keep us from avalanches. Let's make that certain. The hour called the Madrigard is at home in the cold. She will almost certainly keep us from falling. And Count Jannings would like an edge commission. So, this is a little bit of a waste of time, but I am curious. So, significant conversations in a smoky meeting room. What do I need from my follower? Augury. My seer can determine times and places where power will be available for our uses. There is a small risk. So the thing that I'm curious about on this is that I feel like this might be tied to activities that you might do in the Mansis, but I've never quite been able to figure out how that quite works. So I always kind of imagined that this would be able to give you some sort of a hint in terms of what might be available behind certain doors. And yet I've never been able to like really put my finger on where that belief came from. So in any case, I'm curious about it. You know, there's always room to learn something, and it's always more fun to just do some experimentation and pick it up. All right, my recent work has attracted a couple of callers. With luck, something will sell. No more staleness, so I can be reckless with my reputation again. I don't even know what I want to use as inspiration. Let's say vitality again. Why not? It's more an insurance policy for this season of sickness. So after that, we'll add Sylvia, money, and then I should add the Nocturne. Through the hike passes, Frostguard and Shivering, we've made it through the mountains. This illness has damaged my health. I will need to rest before I am fully recovered. So we'll add the Affliction and Vitality right away. All I need now is time, and we can make use of the mirror. Some days are better than others. Sometimes the sky is nothing like a filthy sheet. Sometimes the river runs clear. So in this case, I was too busy using Cat Carol for Auguries. We did not... We're apparently both too busy. And we'll take care of Colors of the Night. So hopefully this gives us a good return. I mean, obviously it's nice when it doesn't give us staleness, but I can work with staleness. It's not getting money from the reputation paintings that really makes me worried. Okay, same text as before. In the first and greatest history, a subject of the shadowless empire of Persia travels to the west to the kingdom of the Persids. I don't know if it's Persids or Persides, or something else. There he becomes a protege of the tutelary Persid deity, the Scarred Man, who lives in the dark. He returns after 7 years to put his skills at the service of the shadowless empire, becoming their golden general. Who could this be talking about? I think I remember one of the previous episodes I was talking about this and who the character was. It may not be this work now that I think of it, but basically it was like it's not subtle in terms of who it was referring to, but at the very end it outright says the individual that's being talked about, and I'm like, okay, well, so much for. I mean, it's nice for the verification, I suppose, but obviously it's a little embarrassing when you wind up stating the obvious. So our expedition plans for the next challenge. It'll consume funds. If I can add funds now, or I could send another follower. So we'll add Sylvia to deal with the Watchers. Then we add money. Then we add Knock. My recent work is celebrated. My name is known, and my work has done well. So in a few seconds, we will be able to get rid of the staleness. If it was just one staleness, I would have worked on a commission. But because there's two, I want to make sure that I'm putting the passion on cooldown as quickly as I can. Need the notoriety, so let's do a painting of Leo. Something to remember them by, perhaps. After getting rid of the staleness, then we can work on the Lantern Forge and Edge commissions. But I wanted to try and get the cooldown going as quickly as I could. And Season of Visions, but we should be okay there. Closer. Sorry, look closer. Closer still. Closer. Keep looking. Close your eyes. My follower has committed a dangerous error. Their mind is still intact, but the light of the Mantis has touched the world here. Thank you. So we don't actually know what that does. So, let's get rid of the Fleeting Reminiscence. I think I'm going to try this again with Cat Caro. My seer can determine times and places of power that will be available for our uses. There is a small risk. This is a decent example, right, of something which in theory I could probably look up on the wiki, or at the very least I could ask in the Discord or on Reddit. But the thing is that why do that when, you know, it's, I guess forgetting things is actually kind of a blessing if you're waiting for Book of Hours and playing Cultist Simulator, because then you get to try things out and see where it's going. I think one thing I'd kind of like to try and do in the new year, if I can, is actually do another playthrough where I've got my notebook open and I'm sort of taking notes of all the lore, because it's been a really long time since I've done that. But I also know that doing projects like that comes at the expense of time for... it kind of comes at the expense of time for other projects, like, recording more videos and such. So it's always a trade-off, but... part of the fun of doing this is sharing games that I enjoy, and if I'm not spending the time with the games I enjoy in a way that I enjoy them, that can sort of mean it's a little bit like letting staleness sort of build up. Obviously you start going through the motions, and then some of the same energy that you put into the project isn't necessarily there. I don't really feel that way with Cultist Simulator, but it's nice to just kind of try new things and keep things fresh, which is, again, one thing that's nice about doing these videos. After many years of peace, the heirs of the Perseids move against the King of Kings and the Shadowless Empire. The Golden General will not take arms against the blood of his mentor until the King of Kings whispers a great secret of betrayal in his ear. He breaks his sword, forswears his oath to both the Empire and the Scarred Man, and enters the temple behind the world, leaving his life behind. The Lionsmith is young by the standards of the Hours, but old by the standards of war. His names are recent recruits, and their recitation has a savage power. Wrong blade. Alright, let's pick up As the Sun His Core. I mean, some of these we've read before, so I'm not as... Wait, we couldn't have read the Vincent inscriptions. Sorry, I'm thinking of a different playthrough. As the Sun His Course. Joel of the Bridge, a retired soldier and sometimes tollkeeper, wrote this epic poem about Alexander's famously inexplicable decision at Issus to withdraw from the war with the Achaemenids and his subsequent return to Macedonia. At the study door, the work begins. Exceptional work. This is something special. It may provoke a reaction. I'm going to need to be getting some notoriety, it looks like. My recent work has attracted a couple of callers. With luck, something will sell. It looks like it didn't earn me anything. Still, oops. I can start working on the commission. May be useful for a commission. If it doesn't turn out with Cat Caro, I think we'll just try and get money through another way. The Watcher's confusion, their bewilderment is our opportunity. We'll pass in silent secrecy. So we need to add a couple of Nock followers, and then we should be good. Afterwards, though, what else? Probably not something I'm going to need to worry about tonight. Season of Ambition, so I will send Saliba out, it turns out. Or, I guess Rhaenyra now. Dusty facts have come clear in my brain, for now at least. And the air is curdled now. I'm home again in this lump in flesh. Better, perhaps. So, let's go through the Peacock Door, and hours of scholarship and meditation. So, we go to Peacock's Door. Auditory mirror. The Peacock's Door reflects the mirror I hold in my sleep, and the mirror reflects the Peacock's Door. Already a sensuous shiver ripples its surface. It aches for fracture, and when it finds that satisfaction, I will enter. I should be adding Enid at this point. And I prepared the text for study, so let's get this last one in. Alexander meets at Issus with Darius, King of Kings, for 3 days and 3 nights. On the first day, the two men trade threats. On the second, promises. On the third, secrets. Darius tells Alexander something so shattering that he retires to his tent to consider matters of strength and matters of mastery. Eyes like gas lamps, scales like black jade. A serpent is a powerful foe, but it is nothing for us. The serpent's mouth is large enough to crouch in. Its tongue is the thickness of a man's shoulders, but almost certainly it will respect the power we bear. And I the manuscript just in time to turn in with... Oh. My followers committed a dangerous error. The light of the Mantis has touched the world here. Their psychic defenses crumble to chaos, and we had to restrain them before they could do themselves further harm. They will recover their senses in time, but they are badly hurt. Okay. So we'll have to deal with that, but we do have a season of ambitions coming up. So before I go too much further, let's deal with the food. Yes. And I'm going to do esoteric art in this case. So those who know will understand, as will the Suppression Bureau. This is to build up the notoriety because clearly it's all expiring now and we're not getting enough. Okay, Season of Visions, that's kind of already happening. This was a passion painting. So... Oh, I meant to do the Worm Museum. Nuts. Alright, that's a bit of a bummer, but I'll manage. I wanted to do the Worm Museum because we already got the Vagabond's map from the Red Church. At dawn on the fourth day, Alexander announces the sun has his course upon which he returns, and so do I. He returns to Macedonia, executing 2 of his captains when they dispute his decision. He brings with him the names of a blind god and a rite of sacred betrayal. For, Joel opines, without betrayal there would be an end to war. So we have the rite of rebel striving and the colonel's names. And on that note, I think we'll leave it there. So I've still got some work to do. I'll call these minor texts, but we have the Frisian now, so we've got 4 texts to read while we're working on the end of the expedition. I am going to need to heal my followers and such, but I'm also hoping to get a replacement prisoner because we are working with the current one. And then, I guess... more of the same, really. Repairing the mirror, we try to go back to the Peacock store. I have ruined the pattern, so it could have been that there was a secret history behind the Worm Museum already. I don't know, but maybe we'll give it a shot. But all of that will be handled next week. So thank you very much for watching. I hope, again, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the new year, but it is the New Year's week, and it's always nice to just try and keep thinking ahead in terms of where the recordings land. So I thank you all for watching the channel. Obviously, the last couple of years actually have been one of growth for the channel. At least growth by my standards. I understand that YouTube is on a scale completely beyond what I normally conceive, but that doesn't matter. What matters is the time that I spend with all of you. So thank you all for your viewing, your comments. I've been enjoying the last little few, while some of you have been catching up over the winter holiday, and we will be wrapping up the Bright Young Thing hopefully within the month. I feel like we're getting close to an end. I mean, I did have the option of actually doing an Ascension, so maybe we'll take the opportunity the next time it comes up. We'll see. In any case, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you Monday. Until then, take care.